Hello everybody, today's video is about stress and weight loss. And I wrote something down because I wanted to make sure and not mess it up and do it perfectly. Got Dr. Whiting here. He's got his Hangin' Tough Maui, Hawaii sweatshirt from the Rebuild. Tell you all about that in a little bit. It's a pretty cool sweatshirt. Let's get back to it. Stress and weight loss. There are many reasons why weight loss can be difficult. One of those is the presence of excess stress. Stress causes the release of excess amount of the stress hormone. One of these is cortisol. Cortisol not only slows metabolism, but can cause weight gain, especially around the midsection. Stress support nutrients have been shown to lower cortisol levels, reducing the potential metabolic effects that can slow or halt weight loss progress. You might already know this if you're a big follower of Dr. Whiting's work over the years. Excess cortisol is very pro-inflammatory, resulting in potentially other problems for the body to manage. Maximum stress support provides all the nutrients necessary for support in the highest potency necessary for optimal results. So let's get right into it, Dr. Whiting. The first one is just alarming. 8 out of 10 people live with excess stress.
Yeah, I've always said that there are two kinds of people in the world. The kind of people who are honest and say, yeah, I got quite a bit of stress in my life from all kinds of different sources. And then there's the other group who lie and say they don't, but they do anyway. And it is so invasive and pervasive in our society. Because of the lifestyle we have created. It's always so interesting to me. If you say, boy, this is a stressful world. It's not. The world is fine. It's the people in it that are the problem. And we create stress for each other, for ourselves. We walk into situations, we create situations. We don't manage stress properly. We'll get into that a little bit later. But because it's so common, we had to include it in our top 10 reasons for weight loss failure. And it is right up there. I think it's number 3 or number 4 because it is so common. When I deal with a client for weight management, I automatically assume they have excess stress going on in their life. And you know what? 8, 9 times out of 10, I'm right.
Yeah. And so when you created maximum stress support, you had that in mind, obviously, because that's one of the first ones. But you had to get the potency and the totality and the ratio just right to kind of, I don't know, for a lack of a better word, attack that, right?
Yeah, it's one thing to put together a dietary supplement with no experience, and it's another to do it right. And we often talk about the B complex when we talk about stress support, and that's true. Virtually all the B complex, especially B12 and pantothenic acid, are directly involved in managing stress physically in the body. But there are other things that we can use that are also helpful. There are a bunch of herbal extracts. We've got valerian, we've got kava, we've got a whole host of other supportive nutrients that should be involved in a stress formula. And we have them all in maximum stress support.
Yeah. And so the hormones that can slow metabolism and cause weight gain or halt weight gain is primarily the cortisol, right?
Yeah, that's the biggest one. There are others as well, but for our sake of understanding, cortisol is probably the number one factor. And it comes as a result of adrenal exhaustion. Your adrenal glands are 2 little glands that sit above your kidneys, and they regulate a whole host of hormones, various levels. One of them is cortisol. Cortisol is absolutely necessary. Without cortisol, you got a big problem. But too much cortisol, you've got another problem. Because when it comes to hormones in the body, it's all about balance. All about balance. And the things we do and the lifestyles that we often lead tend to prevent the body from effectively balancing those hormones. And when that occurs with cortisol, we get weight gain. And you can almost always tell someone by looking at them if they have a cortisol excess issue, because they'll gain weight around the midsection. They'll be skinny little legs and arms, but they've got this big tummy and love handles, because excess cortisol, for reasons we're not sure of, deposits on the fat cells around the midsection. So it's almost a dead giveaway.
And so right now, it's January. Everyone is trying to keep up with New Year's resolutions. And as we always see, one of the major resolution is to lose weight. Would you say this maximum stress support is a good thing to start with to help kind of get a good kickstart into that?
Certainly, considering the number of people that have excess stress issues.
Yeah.
Very first thing that we like to do, of course, is detox them. And we talked about that in a previous presentation. Yeah. But right behind that, in addition to a full spectrum multivitamin mineral to prevent starvation hormones, we want to take a stress support formula to prevent excess cortisol, which slows metabolism and over time can cause a host of other problems.
And so from the cortisol, that creates the excess inflammation, that leads to fluid retention, and that leads to the slowing metabolism. Can you kind of talk a little bit about that?
It's like a row of dominoes. When we're dealing with body chemistry, one domino falls over and knocks the next one over, which then results in knocking the next one over, and the side effects continue. If cortisol is elevated for any length of time, in addition to anxiety, nervousness, irritability, and weight gain, it also is very highly pro-inflammatory, as are many hormones in the body. One that comes to mind, for example, is insulin. Insulin is incredibly pro-inflammatory, as is cortisol. And when you have excess inflammation in your body, then you have another set of problems to deal with. You have tissue damage, you have free radical damage, the list goes on and on. And so now the second and third dominoes have fallen over in the line, and you're moving down a chemical road that's going to be far less than healthy or beneficial in the long run.
And so maybe just to finish it up, maybe a little tidbit about, and you kind of already went into it, but as the right combination of nutrients to produce the best results, that would include the full spectrum multivitamin along with the stress formula, because that would lead you to the balance of overcoming that, right?
Yes, and I see so many stress formulas on the market where they use exactly the same amount or potency for all the B vitamins. And that's not necessarily a good idea, because B vitamins absorb and are needed at different levels. For example, B12 and pantothenic acid are the key de-stressing B vitamins. They're the ones that are going to protect the central nervous system as well as the adrenal glands. And under periods of stress, they're needed in very high amounts, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to overdose on B1 and B2 and so forth. So putting in equal amounts, I think, is the lazy man's way to do it, and not necessarily the best. And of course, when you use adjunct nutrients like herbal extracts and so forth, you're going to get the most bang for your buck. You're going to get the most benefit. And as always, we always stress that you explore other methods of stress management, like meditation, relaxation, prayer, exercise. All of those things can help lower stress and cortisol levels as well. And while stress is very important to address in weight management. It is only one of the top 10 reasons. You can find out about all the others in my ebook called The Weight Management Revolution, available from Amazon.
Nice, nice. Yeah, and I've always heard you say, meditation and or prayer or exercise and being in the moment are always good to add to nutrition.
Very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people are always... It's a funny thing about human beings. I don't know if any of you have animals.
Or even petting your dog.
Yes, I was going to say, so I'll talk a bit about animals, pets, dogs, cats, but especially dogs. If you study them, they're always in this moment. This one. For them, past is gone, future is not here. So it's about this moment. I know I have a standard poodle, and Raven is a funny guy because I can give him a treat, and 5 minutes later he's ready for another one, and I'll look at him and say, "But didn't you just have one?" And he looks at me like, "Well, what's that got to do with now?" And we can take a lesson from these pets and observe them and be with them and interact with them, because they are one of the greatest anti-anxiety treatments that we have.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that went so good, and I think that was a lot of good info and a lot of stuff for. Hopefully, you took good notes, and just want to make sure you knew everything about it. And just if you want to tell everybody a little bit about your sweater.
Yeah, it's a fundraising. You see, in Hawaii, like in many parts of the country, there is a local slang. And in Hawaii, they call it Pidgin English. And if you don't know it, you would have trouble understanding the local people. Well, one of the things, if a local Hawaiian wants to tell you to relax, chill out, don't stress, he's going to tell you to hang loose.
Yeah.
And that's one of the very common ones. Well, this sweatshirt commemorates and is designed as a fundraiser for the wildfires that destroyed Lahaina, Maui. So it's a takeoff on hang loose. It's hang tough, Maui.
So cool.
Because it was devastating. And I have lots of friends and a couple of relatives who were affected by this. And it's going to be decades before it's back to normal.
Yeah. Well, we're praying for them, and I hope you guys found this very informative, and stay tuned for the next one coming very soon. Thank you so much.